There's a lot of progress that has been made. At the same time, there's an economic aspect of this, beyond the moral aspect. Address the economic aspect of it, particularly from the state of California. And frankly, let's bring it back to the fires that have been raging out there in Southern California. What is the economic effect on a state like California of the climate change?
Well, first of all, the economic effects of California taking the most aggressive climate actions, both by way of cap and trade, by way of regulation of appliances and buildings, by low carbon fuel standard, by 50% renewable portfolio standard to be effective by 2030. We're doing all that. And yet we've become the sixth largest economy in the world, 2.6 trillion. Our municipal bonds are the envy of investors everywhere. So we're making progress. But yes, climate change and the fires, in the drought, in the devastation of crops, it's costing real money, and it will continue to cost money. So we got to try to combat it, and do combat it as we are. So the lesson is you can take environmental action, it improves your economy, but yes, climate change through the fires, the droughts, and soon to be the floods costs us many billions of dollars. Make no mistake about that.
Governor, as you suggest, California is on a firm footing now economically. It wasn't always so. Even when you took office, it was not in nearly as good shape. We're now looking forward to quite likely tax legislation coming out of Washington that can affect California or right here in New York, particularly because of the deduction for state and local taxes. What is the economic effect on the engine that you've created in California if this bill goes through the way it's written right now?
First of all, this is another one of these 400 or 500-page bills. Some of it is handwritten, scribbled in, and they keep changing it. They're trying to make their deals. So we're not exactly clear. Some of the Republican congressmen are working for some changes. But look, as originally drafted, it is meant to punish California for voting for Hillary Clinton. It's meant to punish New York. It's meant to punish Illinois and other states that have taken the effort to raise their state income tax. And remember, what is that for? Half of it goes to education, goes to health care, goes to public health, to combating disease. This is a terrible war on California and New York. And remember, these states that have an income tax are the engine, not the entire engine, but very critical part of America's prosperity. So, no, we're going to live through this. Higher income taxpayers are going to pay a hell of a bill. But you know what? The progressive income tax is right. And what they're doing with that tax, by giving more money to corporations that don't need it right now, more money to the richest Americans, and then already Ryan and McConnell are saying, okay, they're now going to have to pay for it by taking away health care from the poor, shorting Medicare. What are they doing here? This is class warfare at its worst, and they're feeding the economy when it's running at full tilt. This makes no economic sense. It makes no political sense, not even for the Republicans. This is not going to help them. If anything will help the Democrats win one or both houses, it's this stupid tax bill that punishes the poor, the middle class, and all the Americans, the bottom 80%, if I could call it that. It's an insane idea driven by a herd of sheep that are just moving in response to an irrational call from those who are leading them. So, look, this is bad stuff, but we're going to make the best of it. And right now, Trump is creating his own demise by the extreme behavior that he's exhibiting, and the Republicans in Congress are following him. But it's not the end of the story here. We are mobilizing for the 2018, and this economy will hurt many taxpayers. It might make it harder to raise income in the future, but it's a very bad sign when states commit to state action to do good for their citizens, and then for pure politics and no economic good reason, we get punished. Well, we won't forget it, and we're going to take out those Republican congressmen if they vote for this tax monstrosity that there are almost no economists that believe in or support.